Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to look at our adding the tables that we need for Supabase. So I'm here inside my project, and we're going to go to SQL editor, and we're going to create a few tables. So what we're going to do is say create table. I'm going to call it Superblog underscore posts, and we're going to say ID UU ID primary key default, and then we're going to say, sorry, this is a comma, and then we're going to say title text, not null, and we want the content to also be text, not null, and we want the author ID to be a UU ID, which references, UU ID, which references we put a published boolean, by default we want it to be false, and then it will have the created at, which is a timestamp, and it defaults to now. And instead of these curly braces, it needs to be brackets. Okay, so we've got an ID with a random number, title, content, author ID, which is referenced by the person who is logged in, and published and created at. Okay, so if we run this, we've got a created at syntax error. So there we go. So now if we go to our table editor, we've got Supabase, Superblog posts, we've got the ID, title, content, author. So you could also do it visually. If we created another table, you could have done all of that here. So for example, you could have said the author underscore ID, and it is a UUID, and it references the author ID. We can do it like that too. And then you have the title, which is a text, and here you unclick nullable. So make sure that it's not. Oops, sorry. That it's not nullable. Then you would put content here. And we put published. And you would have chosen Boolean or bool. And I'm going to put false here for the default. Okay, so you could have also done it this way, but that's basically what we're doing. And we just actually wrote the SQL. So as you can see, there's a little lock here, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a what's called row level security, and we're going to basically add some policies. So we're going to create a policy, and again we could use that, or we could create our own policy. So right now we want to select everything from this table, and here we're going to say we want the published to equal true. So we can get everything, we can read everything from the posts, but we want to make sure that it's true, and we can just call this one allow. So allow users, allow public to view. Okay, we can save this policy. So it should be able, anytime there's a public, a post that is marked as public, or marked as true, sorry. It's not it's published, sorry, not public. Oh yeah. Anytime the post is published is equal to true, it will be able to be read. Then we want to create another policy where here it says insert for authenticated users only. So it gives you an idea of being able to actually insert if you're authenticated, which is great. That's what we want. Save this policy. And we want to be able to delete it if the auth ID equals the user ID. But we want it to actually be based on the author ID. So ID, okay. So basically you can only delete your own post. And we create another one, we update based, where is update? It's not based on email, it's based again on the author ID. So on top here, I can say author ID and update here. And okay, we can change that to Okay, so cancel that. Discard. So let's create the policy again. So basically, what we want to do is on posts, select to public using, okay, it's not select, it's update. And we've got auth.uid equals author underscore ID. There we go. So basically we want to say update if author. So we update if author, here, edit policy, insert if logged in. We want to edit this one and say delete if author and logged in. And we'll make sure that we've got this as authenticated. Yeah, that's right. So the select is basically anyone can do it. The delete, insert and update is only if you're logged in and if you're an author. I want to make sure that we've got this as authenticated as well. Okay, so there we are. We've got all of these ready. And we're going to make one more table, but this time we're going to create it visually. And we're going to say it's going to be super blog underscore likes posts. So super blog posts with likes. Okay, so again it's going to enable that automatically. We're just going to add a column. I'm actually going to call it post ID, and this is a UUID which is referenced. So actually let's just do the author underscore ID, and that is the UUID, and that is linked to this one. And then we will say super blog posts, and we want the ID here. Oh, sorry, let's do that first. Okay, so we say post underscore ID, and this is a UUID, that's fine. And first of all, we change this to super blog posts, and we want this post ID to be this UUID, which is the ID of the super blog post. You say cascade and cascade. Okay, so we save all of that. So you've got that, and then we've got likes, which is a likes count. Actually, no, we don't need that. No, we don't need that. So we got the author ID, which is referenced. Okay, we can also do that. So we say add foreign key relation. We want to make sure that the author ID is linked as well. Okay. make sure they're not nullable. Get rid of this line. Okay, so we've got the likes ID and all of that. Excellent, so we save that. Remove this one. Save that. There we go. Yeah, the author ID doesn't need to be referenced like that. Okay. So we got the author ID, the post ID, and the ID of the likes. Now we can add row level policy. So we should be able to read all the likes. So we'll just say can view if posts are liked. So we can save that. So we should be able to view it. But we should only be able to add a like if we're authenticated. Add like if authenticated. If signed in or logged in. And we also want to do a check because so we've checked. That's right, and we want to make sure that the author underscore UID is not equal. Like we can't author underscore ID. We don't want to be able to like our own posts from Superblog posts where the ID equals posts dot post ID. We've got an extra one here for no reason. Alright. So we got the author UID is not equal to the same ID. Where the ID, oh, there it is, sorry. We want to make sure it's authenticated. So we should only be able to add a like if the author ID is not equal to the one from the blog post. Sorry. Discard. Let's try that again. So we want to be able to insert this, and we want to make sure that we're authenticated. And we want to say auth.uid is not equal to select author underscore ID from Superblog underscore posts where ID equals author ID. Name is add like if not author. Alright, so that's what we're doing. We're saying we should only be able to add a like to this column if we're authenticated and if we don't actually own the like. We should be able to view the likes, and we should be able to update the likes with the same. Cancel, just like that. So we should be able to update based on the author ID, the user ID. So we could say, I'm sorry, cancel that, discard. So if we go to this policy here, could copy the same thing, discard that, create new policy, and this is update, and this is authenticated. And we could basically say the same thing here, except we want to say if the, actually no, I want to say the auth.uid is actually equal to author. What do we call it here? If we go back to the table, and we go see the likes, so we got, yeah, the author ID. So we want to make sure that to update the likes, we're authenticated, and we say update if logged in and the like. Okay, so we're basically going to say using auth.uid is equal to author_ID, and we'll do that again. So now we've got two tables. We've got the Superblog posts where we can put a post, and likes where we can add a like. So basically it will add who liked it and which post was liked, and that will reference this table here. So now that we've got all of that ready to go, we can now start to implement this into our front end.